Welcome to Bible Stories Network, where we share events from the Bible daily. Today, we journey through the fascinating story of Samson, a man chosen by God to deliver Israel during a time of oppression under the Philistines. To set the stage, Israel was under Philistine rule, enduring their oppression for 40 years. In this dark period, God chose Samson to be his instrument of deliverance. The book of Judges recounts his life and remarkable deeds. The story begins with a man named Manoah and his wife, who was barren. Judges 13:2-3 tells us, "And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bore not. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, Behold, now thou art barren and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son." The angel of the Lord revealed that this child would deliver Israel and would be consecrated as a Nazarite from the womb. This vow entailed abstaining from wine and unclean food, and his hair would never be cut. This divine calling came with clear instructions. Numbers 6:1-5 provides further detail about the Nazarite vow, emphasizing dedication and holiness. Despite the miraculous encounter, Manoah's wife sought her husband's counsel. Judges 13:8 recounts Manoah's prayer, "O my Lord, let the man of God whom thou didst send come again unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born." God answered, sending the angel once more to reaffirm the instructions. The angel ascended in the flame of a burnt offering, confirming his divine nature, leaving Manoah and his wife in awe and reverence. Manoah's wife gave birth to a son and named him Samson. As the child grew, the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him. From the outset, Samson was endowed with supernatural strength, a gift meant to fulfill God's purpose for him. Yet Samson's life was marked by contradictions. Though chosen by God, his actions often strayed from divine instruction. Early in his adulthood, Samson demanded to marry a Philistine woman from Timnah. Judges 14:3 records his parents' protest. "Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines?" However, this union was part of God's plan to confront the Philistines. On his way to Timnah, Samson encountered a lion. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, and he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, a feat that foreshadowed his divine mission. Later, he discovered honey in the lion's carcass, a curious event that inspired the riddle he posed at his wedding feast. "Out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness." Judges 14:14. The Philistines, unable to solve the riddle, coerced Samson's wife into revealing the answer. Betrayed, Samson's anger flared, and the Spirit of the Lord empowered him to strike down 30 men to settle his debt of garments. This event marked the beginning of his tumultuous conflict with the Philistines. Samson's marriage deteriorated. His wife was given to another man, and in retaliation, Samson unleashed his fury on the Philistines, burning their fields by tying torches to the tails of foxes. This act of vengeance escalated tensions. The Philistines retaliated, killing Samson's wife and her father, which provoked Samson to strike down many Philistines in revenge. Seeking refuge in a cave, Samson was betrayed by his own people, who handed him over to the Philistines to avoid further retribution. Bound with ropes, Samson faced the enemy. Judges 15:14-15 describes the moment vividly. "The Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith." Samson's victories, though astonishing, came at great personal cost. His leadership spanned 20 years, yet his life's trajectory revealed a struggle between divine purpose and human weakness. In Gaza, Samson's moral lapses became evident. He visited a prostitute, and the Philistines plotted to capture him. However, Samson's strength enabled him to carry away the city gates to freedom, a symbol of his enduring power and God's presence in his life. Samson's ultimate downfall came through his love for Delilah, a woman whose loyalty lay with the Philistines. Enticed by silver, she sought to uncover the secret of Samson's strength. Despite his initial resistance, her persistence wore him down. Judges 16:17 recounts Samson's confession. "There hath not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak, and be like any other man." While Samson slept, Delilah shaved his head, and his strength left him. Captured and blinded, Samson was forced into servitude, grinding grain in prison. Yet Judges 16:22 notes, "Howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven." This detail signified God's continued work in Samson's life. During a Philistine celebration, Samson was brought out to entertain his captors. Standing between two pillars, Samson prayed to the Lord for strength one last time. Judges 16:30 tells us his final act. "Let me die with the Philistines." And he bowed himself with all his might. And the house fell upon the lords, and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. Samson's story is one of contrasts, great strength and deep weakness, divine calling and human frailty. Despite his flaws, Hebrews 11:32-33 includes Samson among the heroes of faith, reminding us of God's ability to use imperfect people to fulfill his perfect plan. Samson's life also serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of disobedience and moral compromise. His strength, though extraordinary, was tied to his covenant with God. When Samson treated that covenant lightly, he faced severe consequences. This reminds us that our talents and gifts are not solely for our benefit, but are entrusted to us for God's purposes. When we misuse them, we risk losing the blessings that come with them. Yet Samson's story is also a testament to God's mercy and willingness to restore. Even in his lowest moment, blind and imprisoned, Samson turned back to God. His final prayer reveals a heart that recognized his dependence on the Lord. Judges 16:28 captures his plea. "O Lord God, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee, only this once, O God, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my two eyes." This act of faith and reliance on God brought about one of the most dramatic victories in Israel's history. It reminds us that no matter how far we may fall, God's grace is sufficient to lift us up when we turn back to Him with sincere hearts. Moreover, Samson's story invites us to reflect on the source of our own strength. In moments of triumph, it's easy to rely on our abilities and forget that every good gift comes from God. Samson's downfall occurred when he prioritized his desires and relationships over his commitment to God. His journey encourages us to remain steadfast in our faith, even when faced with temptation or adversity. The narrative of Samson also highlights the importance of wise choices and the company we keep. Delilah's betrayal underscores the dangers of placing trust in those who do not share our values or allegiance to God. By seeking relationships grounded in faith, we can better align ourselves with God's plan for our lives. As we consider the lessons from Samson's life, let us strive to live with integrity, humility, and dependence on God. Just as Samson's strength was renewed in his final moments, we too can find renewal and purpose through God's Spirit. Ephesians 6:10 reminds us to be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. Thank you for joining us on Bible Stories Network. We hope this story has inspired you. Remember, we post videos daily, so be sure to tune in tomorrow for more captivating biblical accounts. Until then, may God's blessings be with you.